Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the fifth investor matching from this year's Bind 4.0 acceleration program. Just before we jump into it, to describe very quickly the Bind Open Innovation Platform. This is Bind Basque, Open Innovation Platform. This is a Basque initiative that connects corporate partners with startups with innovative products. So the startups run paid pilots with the corporate partners over more or less a 6-month period, and whilst they're in that paid pilot, there's an acceleration program going on with mentoring, support services such as today's investment matching program, where we put together some of these startups with different investors from the Bind community. If you are a startup or if you are an investor, then please feel free to get in touch, and we'll give you more information about how the program works. Today we have Teresa from Easo and Timon from Earlybird with us as invited investors, and we'll be seeing pitches from 5 of the startups from this year's acceleration program: 51 to Carbon Zero, Kernova, Aunoa, Visionaries 777, and Uali. So just one final thing before I jump into it. Each pitch is 3 minutes, then there's 6 minutes for Q&A with the investors. If anybody from the audience would like to ask a question to any of the startups, then please feel free to do so, and we'll put it on screen and we'll get the startups to answer said question during those 6 minutes of Q&A. So without more ado, I'll bring on Teresa, who's here, and hopefully, and Timon, I can see is here as well. So Teresa, Timon, I hope you heard that. If not, we'll take it on the fly as we go. If you'd just like to describe Teresa, obviously Easo, Timon, Earlybird, and so that the audience know who's being presented to, and then when you've done that, we'll jump into Neil with 51 to Carbon. Teresa, if you'd like to start.
Okay, perfect. Well, firstly, thank you very much for the invitation. For us, it's a pleasure to have the opportunity to participate in these investment sessions. Well, regarding Easo Ventures, I would like to explain that we are a venture capital fund based in San Sebastian in Basque Country. Easo Ventures was established with its first fund in March 2018. This initial fund is currently 100% invested in 39 companies, and since 2021, we have been in the investment period of our second fund, which is the same size of the first one. As for the investment thesis, it's the same in both funds. We are a multi-sector fund, although we have a preference for companies with a B2B business model. A portion of both funds is reserved for the investment in the pre-seed stage, internally referred to as phase 0, and essentially these are investments we make in a very early pre-revenue stage companies, condition on the participation in the acceleration program of our accelerator Berry Up. The rest of the fund, internally referred to phase 1, is primarily invested in the seed stage, and in some cases we have entered Series A rounds, covering tickets from 100,000 euros to 1.5 million. Basically, we are looking for companies with growth potential, solid teams, closely tied to the company, where we can support not only by providing financial investment, but also by supporting them in the growth phases they are in. In both phases, we only have a geographical limitation, which means we only invest in companies based in Spain, meaning we cannot invest in companies outside of Spain. And as for the investment modality, we do both direct equity investment and via convertible loan. And we have part of the fund, approximately 20%, reserved for follow-on investments. Today, with the second fund, we have invested in 26 companies, and we remain active in the investment period, so it will be great to learn more about the companies presenting today.
Perfect. And I'm not sure if is it Timon or Timon?
Timon.
Timon.
Thanks.
Okay, I got it right at the beginning. Okay, it's all yours, Timon.
Thanks also for inviting us. Shortly about Earlybird, we are an early stage European venture capital fund. We invest in stages up to Series A, and we are industry agnostic, meaning that we have 3 verticals we take a look into. Those are enterprise software, fintech and insurtech, and then climate/deep tech topics. So we don't shy away from many business models. We normally come in as lead or co-lead investor to also support our portfolio co-founders as best as possible, so that we from the investment team can support where we can, and then we also have a dedicated team on our end that is always available to our portfolio founders regarding PR and HR topics, and many more interesting parts. I think those are the most important parts about the fund in general. We are now investing from the 8th funds generation, and happy to hear more from the startups about what we are having a look into today.
Brilliant. I'll bring Neil on then and I made a huge mistake earlier, Neil. I said 51 to carbon, not 51 to carbon 0. So anyway, it's now yours. If you want to start sharing your screen, and then I'll bring it on and we can start the pitch.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we're called all sorts of things, Tom, so we wouldn't worry about that. Present.
But still, the 0 was quite an important one.
Yeah, it's kind of what we're trying to achieve.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we're called that because the world kicks out 51 billion tons of carbon, and to stop a planetary disaster, we have to get that down to 0. So that's why we call what we call. Right, I'm going to share my screen now, and thank you so much for inviting me. Yeah. Tell me when you can see it, and I'll start.
It's all perfect. You've just got that little pop-up that's saying, if you get rid of that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all yours. I'll be back in 3 minutes' time.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. Thank you, Bieito, for inviting me here, and nice to see you, Teresa and Timon. We're a B2B SaaS, and we help corporates fight climate change. And every bone in our body is about reducing carbon, not about measurement, reporting, compliance. That's important, but ours is about reducing carbon. We don't sell offsets, we don't get involved in offsets. It's about helping corporates reduce carbon. And our AI-driven platform does exactly that. We are mission-driven. We're trying to hit 500 million tons of CO2. I can explain more about that later. We have amazing traction. We've been in business for 15 months. We have amazing traction from NASDAQ clients, from FTSE clients, from IBEX clients. 50% of our revenue comes from the US, 50% from Europe. We are based in the UK, Teresa, so it may count us out of your fund, but we do a lot of work in Spain. We're focused initially on a sector where we have an unfair advantage. Our product market fit showed a huge niche, and the niche is this one. We can work in any sector, by the way, and we do have many sectors, but we focus on this one. The big advertisers you see there all have net zero targets. They're under enormous pressure from their stakeholders to become net zero, and they put pressure on their supply chain to do so. Their supply chain in our world are the agencies who design the strategies. They place the ads in ad tech, and the ad tech places the digital ads in publishers, and all of those companies there, and there's thousands of them are in our market. Interestingly, you might think this is trivial. It's not. It's the carbon sent out by these people is 2 times the aviation industry. And why? Because there are trillions of digital ads, billions of servers, gigatons of materials used. So it's double the carbon footprint of the travel industry, which is amazing. Our differentiation, because you might think this is a crowded marketplace, that's the general view for people that look in from the outside. There's 166 players in our market, but there's only 2 operating in our sector, us and one other. Our team, we have, my background is I've built and sold 2 global companies. sold them both to media companies. That helps our differentiation in this sector. My CEO is ex-strategy and sustainability lead. We have a climate expert who works with the UN. So we have a team to die for. Our sector focus is unique. We're the only people that operate our business model in our sector. And we're building, every day our platform's learning. We're building a Chat 51 version of the platform, which allows us to ask questions of the platform. It allows CEOs to do it. It will allow policymakers to do it. You know, what solutions work best? Where are companies achieving their goals and where aren't they? Why aren't they? So we'll have such insight in there in about a year's time. Our business model, we have 3-year contracts with all our clients, except the ones we have 5-year contracts for, so it's 3 years plus. That's roughly the subscription revenue, and there's about 10% upsell a year at the moment too with our clients. We have 100% growth quarter on quarter, so astonishing growth, 50% in US and UK and Europe, and we work in 30 markets. So you know we are seed stage, but we're possibly slightly further on. Our ambition by 2030, we want to be 100 million. We're on track. We're above our plan at the moment. In terms of the companies I've built and sold, this one is the most exciting for me, and yeah, we are ahead of plan. Our gross margin is huge, 80% at the moment. Our operating margin is likely to be 25%. We take unit economics really seriously, so we will be able to break even this year. So any funding we want is to scale, and particularly to scale into Europe and the States, and maybe Asia Pacific later. So we're looking for roughly 4 million, and the timing by the end of Q4 2024. That's us in a nutshell.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Neil. So yeah, I'll just take the screen off, and now you've got Teresa, Timon, you've got 6 minutes for questions. If I see that sort of questions dry up, then don't worry, I'll be in the background, I'll jump in and we'll move swiftly on. Okay, all yours. Teresa, if you'd like to start.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Neil, for the presentation. I would like to ask, when you establish contact with a potential client, I would like to know what the typical situation you find. In other words, I would like to know what tool you are replacing. Is it another software specialized in calculating, estimating carbon footprint, or is it more like working tools such as Excel, where manual recording? How does it work?
Yeah, good question. It varies, of course, but I'll give you the answer in terms of the majority of the people we work with. We're replacing consultants, which is, I love it. When we make a phone call and they say, well, they're using consultants, I love it. My background is ex-Accenture and McKinsey. We know the consultants, we know what they do. You know, they do a good job, they charge a lot of money. And they can't do what we can do in terms of transition, because our platform measures carbon regularly and measures how the company is doing the solution. So it's quite easy sale for us in inverted commas, to sell to consultants. So most of the companies we're dealing with have done a carbon footprint. They've used consultants. They've pulled Excel spreadsheets together. It's all a bit messy. It's all time consuming. It's inaccurate. So we replace them. There are occasions where we replace other carbon accounting platforms because we have a transition module to net zero, which most others don't have. And there's also a case where we replace the big enterprise software. So Salesforce has a carbon module. SAP has a carbon module. They're not really specialist, and it's a wild west of data and regulation out there in climate. So you really need, if you're a big corporate, you need a specialist supplier. So it's consultants primarily, Teresa, followed by carbon accounting platforms, and then the big enterprise platforms.
Okay, thank you. Understood.
Maybe following up on that, Neil, thanks a lot also from our end for presenting. How do you plan to sort of lock in your customers in a, let's say, future perspective once they start using your platform and that they don't switch away from it again?
Yeah, thank you. Another key question. I think there are 3 areas of stickiness for our platform. The first one is when we do the data onboarding, when we first set up a client, we develop a map. We map what they need to measure against their source data and source systems. We produce APIs if the company lets us. to suck data out of the system. We produce some quite complex Excel mapping if we can't get an API, and we have OCR readers, and we set all of that up to unpick that and get another supplier. You can do that, but it's quite hard work. So we have a stickiness at the technical end to get data in. And the reason why we take the data ingestion piece so seriously is that if you want to transition to net zero, you have to hold people to account against their carbon number. And that means you have to measure regularly. No point in doing it every 18 months or even every year. You want to do it at least quarterly, possibly even monthly. And to do that in a no-hassle way, you have to be able to suck the data out of source systems. So we have some clever technologies to do that. That's the first stickiness point. The second stickiness point is that we have the transition end. We're linked into the climate community within the company. So it's not just one person using our platform to monitor stuff. It's all of the people accountable for change are on the platform. And we have a climate community engagement functions, gamification, stuff like that within our platform, which builds us into their business process. So we have stickiness at the front end and we have stickiness at the back end. And the middle bit where there's the stickiness is around the the scenario planning that we do. We work with the client to develop their milestones, their path to net zero. And that's built into their thinking and their strategy. So there's a number of areas where we are, I think, invaluable to the client, and it would be unlikely that they change unless there's a problem with the platform. And so far, we're only 15 months old, but so far we've had zero attrition. So we have multiple users on our platform. Again, a lot of carbon accounting platforms don't have.
And what implementation time frame do you require?
About 2 months. It does vary, again, depending on the size of the client. We have segmented our market based on needs. We have enterprise, we have mid-cap, and we have the smaller clients. Depends on the size of the client, but generally a couple of months. And that allows us to understand what scopes they want to measure, how much of scope 3 do they want to measure, where the data is, mapping it to that, testing out the data, sucking the data out of the systems, making sure that's verified. And then once that process is set up, they're good to go for forever.
Okay.
Very quick.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Wonderful. Thanks for that, Neil. I'll let you go, and I'll bring on Fernando from Aunoa. Fernando, if you start sharing your screen, I'll bring it on.
Yeah, let me share with you. Let me know. Oh, if
Here
you
absolutely perfect. It's not quite full screen.
It's not full screen.
No, but it's as good as.
Let me check, because it's a problem with my computer. Well, when
it's fine.
I don't
it's
have
fine.
another screen. Sorry.
No worries.
But
no worries. You can see it fine. It's all yours.
Okay. Let me go through quickly who we are. Aunoa is basically is a software B2B company, a SaaS platform. Let's say good say better framework. A framework focused on automating customer processes using AI, but also any other technology. We are 4 founders working together for 24 years. This is our third company together, and we started with AI projects 10 years ago in our previous company. The problem it's very easy to identify. It's just the non-scalable problems of customer service in the companies or public administration or whatever. This is our vision of how a system should be, including the AI, but the AI is just one part. this is about the competition. We are in the last one. In the second one, you can find the Microsoft, Google, or big frameworks, and let's focus on us. On the, let's say, on the AI landscape, we are in the top. I mean, in the very vertical application. We are also working in the 2 levels above, but our product is in the top. Well, what's here? It's our model. Our model is a typical B2B SaaS with a setup plus a recurrent fee. We are well, not a cheap software. Our average ticket is around 1,000 euros per month. Okay, we are focused on a medium high customer, and our numbers footprint now it's more than 100 customers in 10 countries, Spain, basically Spain and Latin America. We have 2 very good things about the customers. That almost a third part of the new revenue it's coming from upselling of existing customers or expanding in the same group, and we have almost null churn, 0. That is important because we are not a cheap software to forget. If the customers are paying a high fee, is because we add value to their business. Let's see some of our customers. We are focused on especially on 3 verticals: e-commerce plus logistic, banks and insurance, and utilities. Electric, water, gas company, etc. In the right side, you can see some real KPIs, very different. And some companies are looking for just cost, another automation, another human agents productivity. This is our trajectory, our evolution. We was born 5 years ago in this month, and we had received 2 small rounds. Last one in last summer, and the cap table is, as you can see in the graphic, the founders keep the 70% of the company. Probably this will be the most interesting topic for you. This is the track record. I mean, we are just in the middle in the first quarter of 1994. This quarter we have overpassed the million euro of recurrent revenue, and we expected to finish this year with almost 2. Okay. Well, this is just to illustrate the change on the focus on the target client, how to impact, and some metrics. I mean, will be more interesting to listen your questions.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Fernando. I gave you a little bit more time than I should have, but I'll take the presentation off now, and I'll leave it for Teresa and Timon to ask questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Fernando, for the presentation. I would like to ask regarding the setup process, if you could please give me more detail about this process. I mean, what effort does it require on part of the client? That is, it's a simple integration into their systems, or does it require the definition of automation by the client? How does it work?
Let's say our main premise is just to not spend a lot of resources of the customers, okay? Because this is a barrier, the highest barrier. So at the customer, we only request the kind of documentation, historical records of customer support, tickets, and so on. And all the project is managed by us, including integration. I mean, our principle is to make the life easier to the customers, and to start with a small project, just to check the results, because we are sure that they will upgrade soon. Okay, but it's a process of between 4 and 8 weeks, no more.
Okay, thank you.
Could you also outline sort of the customer-facing processes you are automating, just so that I understand it better?
Sorry, Timon. It's customers of?
You mentioned the processes that you are sort of tackling and automating.
Yes,
you elaborate on that?
Yes, it's not only focus on on final customers, okay, and what we understand our customer support. It's also some cases related to internal processes, that like human resources, in commercial processes, like final automatization, final lead refinement. Also, it's to look into internal information, for example, in the industrial companies, which manage a lot of documentation of regulatory processes, quality, and so on. I mean, it's not only focused on final customer.
Okay.
No, sorry, Teresa.
Sorry. Yeah, you mentioned that one of the sales channels are agreements with partners. What type of sales agreements have you closed with these partners, and what type of partners are they?
Honest, the partner channel, it's almost fully to be developed. I mean, these partners we have currently are just companies related with our previous life, to set up a project in a country, but we don't have yet a structure to the partner channel. Probably we'll start this year.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that, Fernando. Unless there's any last question that you'd like to jump in, either of you. And if not, I will bring on Oliver from Kernova. Thank you, Fernando. And welcome, Oliver. And thank you for adding in your screen. It's not quite full screen yet, the presentation. There you go. Perfect. Okay, Oliver, I'll be back in 3 minutes' time.
Okay, thanks, Tom. My name is Oliver. I'm co-founder of Kernova. Kernova is a company who has developed a product to replace hydraulic technology in heavy-duty processes. So allow me to explain what is this product and what is the feature and what it brings to the industry. Let me show you a video. Everyone can see this? So this is a KRN series. This is a heavy-duty electromechanical actuator. It goes beyond the threshold of the market of the commercial actuators. That is above 300 kilonewton, 3,000 kilonewton forces. So this is the different features that this mechanism can bring. It's basically it's been designed for replacing hydraulics in, as I said, in heavy-duty presses. We will see later on applications and benefits. Basically, this is one of the applications. This is a BMU, a building maintenance unit. So this is some of the benefits. We're looking at 35% saving energy, close to zero maintenance, no contaminants, very low noise levels. So this is basically the product. If we go back to a presentation, so some of the applications could be recycling and agriculture industry, machinery industry, as we've already seen in the video, is some injection molding machine. We've done a rail case study on a recycling press. This is basically the energy consumption of a press with the hydraulic solution. We are looking at saving of 54%. So this is translated into money. We'll be looking at 9,000 euros per machine savings. So in the investment and potential market, we'll be looking at investment to build up the first prototype of over 144,000 euros, just to build up the prototype and test it. On the potential market, we've been doing a research, and we've detected some interest in recycling and agriculture presses, BMU. With this, basically, this is percentage. So we'll be looking at around 188 potential machine conversions. About us, this is basically the team. We'll be looking. We've got a technical and specialist structural engineer who is in charge of the validation of the product. I'm a specialist in mechanical design and project management. We've got in the team a senior design engineer, a mechanical engineer, experts in this type of designs. And in the realm of the international market and economy trade, we've got this Anna Sadri, who is our key account manager. And this is basically, sorry, this is basically our presentation. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. No problem whatsoever. Thank you very much, Oliver. So I'll take your presentation off screen, and it's all yours for the three of you for questions.
Okay, thank you very much for the information, Oliver. I would like to ask, you show us your product, and I would like to know what is the main purchase motivation for the client. I mean, the client's objective is to achieve greater energy efficiency, as you mentioned, but I don't know if these clients wants to seek to comply with regulatory requirements focused on sustainability, or there is other reasons to purchase the product.
So the main reason, as you pointed out very rightly, is the efficiency, also the energy saving. Now there are some initiatives from governments that they really incentive this kind of approach in a heavy-duty machinery. So basically, there is a saving in energy, as you said. There is also maintenance. We can guarantee 3 to 5 years zero maintenance, which is impossible with the technology we've got now. This is already aligned also with the safety regulations, because this technology is also safer than the existing one. We've got also very low noise levels. This is below the 70 decibels. So this is basically, in terms of the regulations, we don't need any protection for this. So we could just walk around the factory with no protection at all. And basically, those are the main motivations, I think, for customers just to switch to this technology. So energy efficiency, zero maintenance, very easy assembly and commissioning times, and it's a plug and play type of technology. So and it's also go with the directive of Europe with the energy saving energy consumption.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for the presentation, Oliver. Super interesting. Could you elaborate a little bit on sort of the product itself? Do you have it patented, and how do you plan to scale it fastly, sort of to roll out to customers?
We've got a partner that he can manufacture this for us. He's also a machine integrator for this BMU. He's present in the US, where according to the regulation, there is a tax paid for the oil production. So there is a high interest in the US market. We've already had conversations with some companies over there. So they want to see the first prototype working, and then through this partner, we plan to integrate that on the first machine, send it to the US, and then we expect high interest from that, because the only problem we're finding now is there is no prototype up and running, and after that, I think that there would be a high interest especially in the US market because of these regulations. So.
Okay, how much investment have you raised to date, and what is the purpose of the current investment round you are in?
We don't. So far, we didn't get any investment. We are funding the project and ourselves through engineering projects. So we've done some projects for with some validation, because we are experts in FEA analysis as well, and mechanical design. So we don't have so far any investment, but the investment we are looking at is we're searching for is just to be able to build this prototype. We'll be looking at over 140,000 euros only just to build first prototype, test it, make all the certifications, all the CA certification and everything required, just to launch this project, to launch this product to the market.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for your presentation, Oliver. I'll bring you off, and I'll bring on David from Visionaries 777. David, if you could just start sharing your screen, and then I'll add it in here, and then we're good to go. Perfect. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, all right. I'll be back in 3 minutes. So it's all yours. You're muted, David. I can unmute you. Wait 1 second.
Oh, no, okay. I think we're good now. Sorry.
Now you're
okay?
back. Okay, brilliant. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cheers. Thank
It's all
you.
yours.
Thank you. So yeah, let's talk results on how to remotely train and manage staff within Spectly. These are clients in Europe. They've reduced training costs by 57% annually, reduced machinery downtime by 89%, and digitalized 100% of their training and maintenance routines. These are fast food restaurants in the American continent, in Mexico. They've reduced training costs by 73% annually, increased employee productivity by 32%, and again, they've digitalized all the training and maintenance routine. And these are clients in Asia who's managed to reduce the training routines in their office buildings by 62%, increase employee job satisfaction, and digitalize all the training and maintenance routines. So how did these three companies in three different industries achieve all the results within Spectly is the answer. They've digitalized their in-person training routines and PDF or Excel checklists into our Spectly platform. We don't need any hardware or sensors to create this navigation systems for people to be remotely assigned tasks or things with LiDAR scanners, and I'll show you how the technology works. So step one, if you've got an office building or a factory, you need to scan your facility with a LiDAR in scan, create your digital twin, or if you have a small store like a convenience store, a restaurant, a franchise, you can use an iPhone or an iPad with a LiDAR. Once the physical location, you create a digital twin that you import into a 3D editor where you can remotely assign in any language any kind of routine to the employee, and that's it. So the employee, after that, all they need to do is they need to put on their mixed reality headset, or they can use any kind of smartphone, and the system will tell them at 9 a.m., please be here, at 10 a.m., be here. You can show them step by step what they need to do, and every routine can be digitalized and managed and monitored by any kind of manager. How fast our technology works? Well, we digitalized the 8th largest building in the world in 10 days, 108 floors, 270,000 square meters. The scan took the client themselves 2 days. They digitalized the building in under a week with 110 people using every single day mixed reality and augmented reality to execute every safety, maintenance, and cleaning routine inside the building. We have clients worldwide across Japan, Europe, and the US. And of course, we built our business, we're profitable, but we believe we are looking for strategic investment now to further add fuel to our business. Yeah, that's the end of the pitch. Thank you very much. My name is David, by the way.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that, David. Well, I'll take off your presentation, and Teresa, Timon, I took off David. David's disappeared from the back end. Let's see if he connects up again in a second. And if not, what I'll do is I'll bring on Ian from Uali, and then we'll do the questions to David. I guess he must have lost either battery or connection. I'll give him just a few more seconds. See if he comes on. No, he's not here. So Ian, he's back. Okay.
I'm back. David? I'm back. Everyone okay? I don't know if something happens.
Something happened. Anyway, you're now back. So I'll leave Teresa and Timon to ask you questions for the next few minutes. I'll be back.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for the presentation, David. I would like to know if the implementation is 100% autonomous on the client's part, or does it require interaction or support from your team? And also, in case of large spaces, do you provide the required devices to create the digital twin, or should the client have them?
So yeah, they're completely autonomous. It's up to them. So we have tutorials online, videos where they can create their own routines, and as long as they can scan the building themselves, they can deploy the whole thing themselves. So they're completely autonomous. And on the section, if the scanner, sorry, it was a question about the scanning facility. Oh yeah, if they have digital twins or not, they need a digital twin for sure. So either they buy a camera or they rent a camera, but they need to create a digital twin in order, because that's the only way for us to understand the picture of the person through the device. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
David, thanks a lot for the presentation. Very interesting. Could you elaborate a little bit on sort of where you stand in your fundraising processes and what you would use the amount raised then for sort of and touching upon your product vision for the future?
So as I mentioned, we're profitable. We've never had any. We don't owe any money. The company is quite straightforward. We bootstrap the whole thing because we had clients at the beginning who were exploring these technologies. We managed to build a product based on clients' needs and become profitable. So yeah, I think at this stage we're just looking for strategic investment. With one cost which is quite high, which is we're now trying to develop further machine learning or what you would call AI, different algorithms and software for us to get away from the vision that, you know, right now, if you look at any kind of location of scripted checklists, so you would say to an employee, Monday, check the fire extinguisher, at 3 p.m. clean the toilets, at 7 p.m. do the whatever. And we believe in the future with the data we're collecting, it should be of more of a high necessity system, or maybe you have IoT in the building, or you have on a Monday you will start doing this, on a Tuesday you will clean the toilet or whatever. So I think AI, unfortunately, developers for AI are quite expensive, and I think that's what we're going to need to invest our investment for AI investment for AI development. And the second thing is, maybe going back to part of Teresa's question, the client can be autonomous, but for example, we had a client who deployed our software in like 45 restaurants, franchise. And I think at that level, they definitely needed some more hand-holding at the beginning, because when you want to deploy, let's say, to 1,000 locations, there's a lot of security topics. They already have sometimes their systems, they want some integration. And so if our dream is, for example, I am in Japan talking to 7-Eleven, they have 77,000 locations worldwide. I think we definitely need that team in Japan to support the efforts. And then a global team supporting, it's just, I don't think they can do it themselves, because at that stage, it does become like a global rollout initiative. So I think we would need investment to maybe have a key account manager and then grow a small team to help support those key accounts.
Thank you.
Yeah, problem.
And well, yeah, only one last question. How is the revenue model, and what is the average ticket?
So we base it on number of digital twins. So if you take a restaurant or a convenience store, you only need digital twin. You scan it with your iPad. So for this, we charge around 500 euro per month per location, and limited number of employees and limited number of checklists. So it's quite straightforward. In that environment, you can do whatever you want. Now, if you have, let's say, the building that has, I think, around 300 digital twins within 100 floors, then we max it out to 2,500 euro per month. And again, you have to use a limited number of checklists. So the price would range between 500 euro to 2,500 euro per month, depending on number of the digital twin you use in that physical environment.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that, David. I'll let you go now, and I'll bring on Ian from Uali. Ian, if you could just start sharing your screen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's not showing full screen. There you go. Brilliant. You've just got the little, and it's gone. Brilliant. All right, I'll be back in 3 minutes. It's all yours.
Thank you, Tom. Well, part of what does is we start from assumption and facts that over the life cycle of an energy asset to actually produce energy, 45% of the cost goes to operation and maintenance. So if we want to think in a world that we need more energy and actually we need affordable price energy, I would tell you something. That's why we quite impossible understanding that this cost, how they do the inspection and maintenance, is actually the same through 100 years before. So how are we going to try to do something more integrated, more innovative, and try to get more affordable OPEX? Part of that, we create a solution actually to deploy robotics and AI. We make double click in that AI actually to create value. So when you inspect an energy asset, you need to understand where is actually the pain point that is critical to do not have downtime. Downtime is actually I don't produce energy. So part of that you can track your solution from there. So we start in different kind of energy assets, from renewable energy to oil and gas, to help transition to net zero. What we do here in renewable energy is like we inspect the blades with a 95% of accuracy with the blades in motion. So companies do not have energy downtime, and that is actually a saving more than 10% per year. That is incredibly insane. Part of that energy transition is like understand how could be efficient replacing that business as usual they have in operation, and actually looks and detects different methane leaks. That is something that we're actually working with class worldwide clients to quantify their emissions in methanes, so actually they can compensate or invest in renewable energy or in carbon credits, whatever. So part of that is technology like us being the first line of battle, try to understand what we can help them to understand how they're going to replace and go to net zero. Part of the business model of us is very simple. We have an end-to-end business model that is we automate the entire routine, all right? And then last year we deploy our SaaS solution, understanding that some companies have devices, all right, to get that data. Could be robots, could be different IoT, but they need a value proposition that is the AI, different AI. We get more than 100 computer vision models to actually add value to the operation and detect what they want to detect in almost real time. And we work through crossover all the energy sector. I mean, distribution, production, until last mile. Part of that, when we mention about we are a startup, we always like to quote that we are global. Our industry is already very global. So part of that is like we need to create a technology that needs to be really scalable, hardware agnostic, and be easy to deploy. So that combination is quite complicated, but it's part of the solution that Uali is traction right now. It's like how we can do the same, because a wind turbine is the same in Japan, United States, or Africa. So, but actually they have the same thing. So that is part of the strategy of Uali, to try to get more affordable energy prices in the near future, get sustainable, and actually make it.
Brilliant, perfectly timed, Ian. Thank you very much. So, Teresa, Timon, you know the drill. It's all yours for questions. I'll be back in 6.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. I would like to ask, from a regulatory point of view, I don't know if do you need to request permits to operate in wind farms, in gas plants, or this type to explosive environments? I don't know if do you have specific authorizations to operate there?
No, about the barrier of operation is quite low right now. Actually, I would say anyone can get a course or apprenticeship and can get a permission. Then through compliance, procurement, different companies, they do diligence on process of the company, fast, for example, to give you some checks until to operate in different conditions. That is a really high barrier to enter in the market. Once you achieve that, I mean, everything is smooth, I would say. Uali has right now 6-year-old. We spent 3 years creation the value proposition and actually understand what the computer vision need to see, understanding that the hardware will be always evolve, and we don't put focus on hardware. Actually, we understand hardware always is going to be better, and we're going to reach more assets and etc. sensors. In the meantime, we prepare how to make the operation scalable. So part of that is the law. Different organizations and different countries work almost the same in some aspects. So you build from there. So when you land in a country where you do not operate, right, you already have the 50% of the work of the job done. that is part also because companies want to hire into us because we resolve everything end to end. They don't need to bother about technology or robots or Boston Dynamics, whatever. So they only care to get the data, the more quality possible, more fast possible, and very affordable. So there is, and we help them to read that data that they do not have, or it's very complicated to get it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
And what are then sort of current solutions they are using to build that data you just mentioned?
Sorry, Timon, can you repeat again?
Yeah, I was wondering what current solutions are those players using in terms of sort of instead of Uali before?
People. Actually,
Okay.
we transform people jobs. Yes. This like to call energy service. Energy service is 90% manpower. Actually, people going around, climbing a wind turbine, going to a gas compressor, taking data, writes in a paper, or take a picture with a tablet. So the energy sector depends a lot from people, and it's fine. But we detect that many of these routine tasks is a daily basic job that is making all day long for that asset to work. Because they are not smart assets, actually. They're very basic. Hydraulic bombs, or actually a wind turbine is just a motor that produces energy. So they have oil and leaks and etc. So part of that is like they need a lot of manpower intervention to work. And actually they work in really hard weather conditions. So part of that is depreciation, corrosion. So it's very sensitive, produce energy. So when you see and do make double click what people does, you say, okay, technology, 70% of that job could make it better. And actually the good thing is they will request more energy. So they will request more energy asset to produce that energy. But the idea is like transform the jobs to make better jobs, not a low jobs or making routine task. So part of that is like it is everything connects. People want to pay more, all right, but they don't want to get more massive people in the site. They want to get more affordable energy to the customer, but they want to maintain the margin. So everything is connected, and that's why Uali and other technologies, right, could help to transform where the world requests to go. Because in the situation right now, I mean, just an example, renewable energy depends a lot of grants right now. So to make it affordable, you need to make double click, in many of the operational costs you have to try to be more efficient. And I would say it is a lot efficient around there that startup like us and other ones can bring to the table and get support to achieve the net zero goals.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that, Ian. I'll let you go, and I'll just thank both Teresa and Timon for being with us today. We've now finished the pitches. If you'd like to be introduced to any of the startup founders, please just let me know, and I'll do so. And I hope that you found it interesting, and we have you back here next year for the next year's acceleration program. And for those that are connected right now, we have our last investor matching session on the 14th of June. So we'll see you back here then. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. No worries. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.